Hi, it's me, MC of Healthy by George. I come to you every Sunday where I talk about my weight loss journey, and I'm on a GLP-1 drug called tirzepatide or Mounjaro. Welcome to Healthy by George. I want you to know that this is for informational purposes only, and it should not be considered as medical advice, nor does it have anything related to my employer. So it's always best for you to check with your own medical provider before you do anything that I recommend or for any medical treatments. So please join me, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. So I recently saw my endocrinologist and I have shown great weight loss. I have not been at this weight like I've shared in the past since maybe my late teens, early 20s. I have lost over the past a year and a half, almost a little more than 50 pounds. And I would like to lose, another maybe 20 to 25 pounds, depending. And one of the biggest things we talked about was muscle loss, because we've seen with the GLP-1 drugs that not only are you losing fat, but you are losing muscle. And I wonder sometimes if the fatigue I'm feeling has some relationship to my muscle. I'm not sure. But I really am looking into that. Perhaps I think what's complicated is I had a hysterectomy at the end of October. So now I'm 3 months past that in recovery. And, I think if my fatigue continues to be so profound, I really need to look at my hormones because, without any hormones or maybe not knowing how much my hormones are making, fatigue is a part of having low estrogen. But, the complexity of getting treatment on hormone replacement therapy is quite challenging because, they really think about it as relieving menopause symptoms such as hot flashes and brain fog. But I don't know how much they consider hormone replacement for low estrogen levels after the age of 65. I have a very strange history of menopause. I didn't go through menopause really. I had to sort of have help through that process where my physicians put me on progesterone every 2 weeks a month. And then finally I had to have a Mirena put in, an IUD, and I wore that for 5 years. But I went into menopause finally in 2017. And now after they took out the Mirena, guess what? All the symptoms came back, which was kind of horrific. It's having these periods that show up out of the blue, and so that was just not acceptable. I mean, it's scary because is it uterine cancer? You have to go get tested, and I saw this article in the New England Journal that shared that even though you would be monitoring your uterine lining, the use of an ultrasound is not a great way to tell if you are having uterine cancer. So that's what kind of convinced me to go ahead and agree to having a hysterectomy because there was a lot going on. And I really don't want to be at risk for uterine cancer because it's really a challenging cancer for treatments. And I still had my ovaries. And so there was a lot of complexities. It was the right decision. But recovery has been rough. Fatigue has been tough. And I really am looking forward to seeing how I can get my energy back. Because when you don't feel energetic, it's really, really a struggle. Everything makes me tired. I will go on a walk and come back and feel exhausted. I will go and do a few things at my job and I'll feel exhausted. So I don't think that's normal. And so I really do want to see what happens in February. I will go to this company that my doctor recommended to get my body scan to look at my fat muscle ratio now and can maybe get my hormone levels checked because seriously, this kind of fatigue is just overwhelming. And so I have to really start looking at how well am I sleeping? Do I have stress? Am I, getting enough protein? I am working really hard on protein. Am I drinking enough water? I think a couple of days this week, getting enough water was tough. Staying hydrated when you're a busy woman is not simple. I think you have to make a plan. And so my goal this week is to really plan to make sure I'm getting in sufficient water. And that's going to be a goal because I know several days this past week, forget it. I did not have enough water. And when you suddenly feel thirsty or, your mouth feels dry or something, you haven't gotten sufficient water that day. And I think that somehow water, it contributes. Not having enough water or hydration can definitely contribute to not having enough energy. Stress as well. I've got a lot of stress going on in my job with a lot of elements happening all at once that makes things a little difficult. But, I think that it's a matter of just addressing time to do my meditation, take a little more time to do some breathing exercises. I know the tools. It's about always taking the time to implement tools so that you do feel less stressed. So I'm sure that there's going to be some solution for fatigue. I know that I bought a rebounder, one of those little mini trampolines recently. I'm going to try that, see how that helps me maybe feel more energetic when I'm at work. I'll take a break and do a few minutes of rebounding, jumping around. I like jumping. I think it sounds fun. So, watch the news or watch a show and do a little jumping. Why not, right? I think that sounds like a fun thing to do. And maybe the cold. It has been absolutely freezing here in New York. I don't know where you are. I know that my family is down in Florida and they got somewhere between 7 and 10 inches of snow. Hello. And in Georgia, they got, 5 and 6 inches. I think that's another thing when we have this unexpected cold snap, which we just are feeling freezing. It's freezing in the apartment. It's freezing outside. You feel like you just can't get anything done because everything feels so cold. So I hope you're staying warm where you are and that you are working towards your own health and wellness. Because I think being a woman, as you get older, the struggle about maintaining your health is a little more complex. We have these hormones that just are somehow difficult to manage. And hormone replacement therapy is a real individual choice. Should we take hormones? Should we not take hormones? And the other issue is, what will I have to pay every month? Because some of this is not approved just to make me feel better. When you look at what the FDA has approved for some of these hormone replacements, they've only approved it for, vaginal dryness, hot flashes, and some of the symptoms of menopause, but they won't approve it, I think, past the age of 65. I think hormone replacement equivalence is a real challenge to get covered by your insurance. So I'm going to be addressing that issue, and I'll share it on here because there are some great medicines out there, but getting them covered and getting them, paid for you to get it is sort of going to be a roll of dice because, again, what's going to be covered by my insurance and what won't be. It's really frustrating to me to know that there are medicines out there, such as the GLP-1 drugs, and medicines like this for us women as we get older with hormone replacement therapy. And there's such a limitation for us to have access to medicines. It is super frustrating. And what is really even more frustrating is if you're a woman with more melanin in your skin, you are even more challenged sometimes with these symptoms than someone who has lighter skin. We really, really need to have an emphasis on what is called personalized medicine, that we shouldn't be looking at how a group of people who are predominantly white are treated. It's all about understanding how we need to treat the person in front of us. That is how I want medicine to do and to keep us well as we get older. That is the key issue, helping us stay healthy, strong, and functioning as we get older. That's my goal here on this channel, is to continue to share with you my journey to a healthier, more functional, thriving, older woman who is going to live into my older ages as the best version of myself as I possibly can. So join me here every Sunday. I hope that you will share what your things and challenges are, because it's really about a conversation. Think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here. Be well, my friends. We have this one precious life. Let's live it intentionally into our older age. Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.